I haven't been live in a bit. Let me go ahead and switch this up. Dope. All right, we're gonna watch Savage Land. What did you guys think of the Hunger Games? I know what a lot of you thought, that it was garbage, and it was. It was scuffed as fuck. But honestly, it was hilarious. There were some really good moments. There was a lot of non-tent. I don't know. It was fun. I had a good time. Oh shit! I just thought about it. How am I gonna get to chat? Because I don't have my TV set up. Not the same way. Let me go ahead and get into my chat room. And yes, I just crouched down to use this. I don't even care. No shame. Yeah, the Hunger Games were funny as fuck. So I've been gone for a week. You guys probably thought I just gave up because I wasn't getting viewers. Guess what? It takes a lot more than that to get rid of me. Also, I just needed. I got sick. I literally got a cold or whatever. So we get into my stream, whatever. Okay, there's my audio's up. Let me get my pop out chat. Let me give my own stream a thumbs up because I'm a real streamer and that's what real streamers do. Because I'm a real streamer, that's what I just said that to trigger people. You guys aren't going to take that seriously, are you? Come on now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Give me the fucking pop out chats, you motherfucker. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and watch Savage Land. I'm just waiting for... Oh, my chat loaded finally. Let's go ahead, pop out. All right. And then the usual check. We're good. We're good. Okay. Let me know how laggy this gets. If you can. Let's see. We'll see. So we're going to go ahead and watch Savage Land from the beginning. It's relatively short anyways. There we go. I'll just put this on the side. If I see anyone chatting, I'm going to go ahead and...
Grisly discovery in the town of Sangre de Cristo this
Lights
morning.
Out.
And a number of SDC residents are reportedly still missing. Because as one police spokesman put it, the whole...
Wow, that's fucking awesome looking, but it just looks too weird.
This border. You're going to see some horrible things.
We all thought it was a mass murder case. You know, serial killer.
Our thoughts and prayers
Maybe
go
fix
out to the families of the Sangre de Cristo victims.
A person of interest was detained.
We found the suspect covered in blood.
38-year-old Francisco Salazar, an illegal immigrant, has been charged with over 24 counts of first-degree murder.
Everybody seems so shocked about this.
All right, I'm just going to sit here tonight.
Because I know what the people are capable of.
If this guy actually killed the whole fucking town, kill him. Fry his ass.
A serial killer. I mean, that was pretty much the general consensus.
Francisco Salazar remains jailed under high security in Heinzman.
If you haven't seen Savage Land, it's really scary.
Changed everything that we thought about.
I don't understand.
I'm over here like, these motherfuckers can see my cracker box. These motherfuckers. You can see my sink. See the video game I'm playing?
You own a gun? I do. Ever since I've seen these photographs, I've been sleeping with an overnight pillow.
I don't know what some of these effects do. Okay, I'm just fucking things up.
Although the area has been cordoned off by police, sources say authorities have been unable to quantify a specific body count.
I'll quantify a body count right now.
What's being described as a likely mass murder scene, police recovered the bodies of over a dozen victims at various sites throughout the town.
Okay. want to play some Rogue Legacy
Police are
too.
combing the town's 2 square miles as they begin to unearth more clues to this shocking tragedy.
I may abandon this stream at any moment. Not because of views,
The
but
body count in what police
I might want to do
have
something else.
suspected the Crystal massacre has risen to over 20. Residents of nearby Heinzman and the border communities are encouraged to avoid the general STC area and to report any tips or suspicious behavior to the authorities.
Oh God. Let's quickly talk about the Hunger Games. I thought it was great. I thought it was super fucked up and everything was broken, and I think that's great. To be perfectly honest, rigged. I have no idea. I tend to doubt it because everything is just so fucking messed up. But there were so many funny contestant moments and things like that. For me personally, Xena really earned her stripes on this one, and then the guy who I was voting for, going for, was Gooner Gooch, ended up becoming a hunter, and that shit was hilarious. That was one of the best nights. Him hosing down Tazo and just them wreaking fucking havoc. Oh, and then Ice getting was it Zuvi or Shuvi? Yeah, Shuvi, that fucking kid who disappeared for 2 days, and people were like, he might be dead. That kid appearing and then getting all that fucking loot and then getting dropped off in the behind those bushes, and then they were trying to drive through it and they're realizing he had to walk back through that was like impossible. Oh fuck. And also Shuvi I don't know what the Shuvi kid was thinking, but why would you want a ghillie suit for that temperature? Like, it's not worth it, man. Anyways, he literally only survived because he didn't exist for the majority of the game. People are saying that Eastside guy who initially won before the data was collected, they're saying that he is worth like 4 million, so I guess maybe he's already got a pretty big following. I never heard of the guy before. Only saw him like 2 or 3 times throughout the entire game when he was on certain teams, so whatever. I enjoyed it. I understand people who are longtime Ice fans not enjoying it. I enjoyed it because I was sick and I was desperate for anything. Okay, back to the movie. Oh, also, it's the second time I was sick. When I got COVID early this year, in March or whatever, whatever month Ice's scavenger hunt was live, and I watched the scavenger hunt, and it really got me through being bored with COVID. So once again, Ice saved me during a sickness. I tend to doubt it'll happen again, but good stuff. I had a great time just watching. Fuck, even Sam Pepper did a good job monitoring overnight. To a certain extent. I mean, Sam Pepper still sucks. He's garbage, but I enjoyed it. I guess I'm probably a lot more of a softie when it comes to being able to rate these events because I haven't been around as long, so I'm not as jaded. But I had a good time. It was pretty apparent that like at nighttime, no real action was going to happen if Ice is asleep. Like it wasn't. It basically, I assume the unspoken rule was kind of truly that no, it's not really allowed to do anything. And I think that's why Gooner and the other guy really wanted to just join the hunters because they wanted to do a lot of stuff at nighttime, and they went on one of the nighttime missions, and then they got in trouble, and like you guys don't want people like something like that. I don't remember. Anyways, back to this. So this is the story of a man who lives in a town, and the entire town gets murdered, and he's the only one left alive at the end. And the story is all post what I'm telling you. So they're like, he's framed as the murderer. Obviously, a single man, one man couldn't really kill a whole town, so it's just kind of like What? You'll see as this progresses. This has got some of the most scary imagery.
In all my years of law enforcement, never come across anything like this. God abandoned Sangre de Cristo. There's nothing left.
There's nothing left. A great bedside manner.
It still amazes me that the largest single-day homicide in history of the state of Arizona got no attention, zero media coverage. It's hard to imagine the scale of the carnage. Most bodies were only partial remains, scraps of bloody clothing, limbs in the street. Some bloody trails ran up to a quarter mile as if the bodies had been dragged. Other trails veered out into the surrounding deserts and just disappeared. All of them, men, women, children, gone in one night.
I've been a writer since 1995. I've written 5 different books. I worked for a couple of years as an investigative reporter here in Los Angeles. We covered all the things that LA Times didn't know. Every place is known for something. South Arizona, the vanishing capital of the United States.
It's true. There's been more than a few who have gone missing from the area. But look what's going on. Drug trafficking, human trafficking, smuggling, weapons, gang activity. There's no place that has more crime than here in the borderlands.
I'm trying to figure out how. If I do backlighting for this, will it get better?
You lose one person, that's a tragedy. See a whole town wiped out.
Kind of equalizes it.
We got lucky. It was their town, not ours. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Wake up. Listen to me. I've been telling you this for years, but you've ignored me up to now. Well, I'm telling you, you can't ignore me anymore.
A person of interest was detained as he attempted to flee across the border. He is reportedly a Latino man in his 30s who was employed at Sangre de Cristo Ranch at the time of the murders.
You know, I've seen 40 years of crime and violence.
I don't think this does it.
The only man that ever scared me was Francisco Salazar.
Maybe I just turn off.
Francisco Salazar was an illegal who had been living in Sangre de Cristo for 7 years after jumping the border from Nogales, Mexico. It made him a pretty convenient fit.
Even with all the things that go on around here, you never expect to see something like this.
I'm always confused.
He was raving when we caught him. He was raving when we put him in that jail cell. Once he was in there, he didn't say too much.
23 hours after they closed Sangre de Cristo down, Salazar staggered into Desert Highway 67, 12 miles east of SDC, and collapsed at the side of the road. The only truck to stop was an independent rig, co-owned by Mario Chascarrillo, who had just got his license. He dragged Salazar into the cab, turned around and drove him west to the nearest town with a hospital, Heinzman. The hospital contacted the cops. How you doing? Oh, good. How's Brad been?
John Perano understands his people, just like his father. A little comforting, a wink, a little bullying, a big hat, toothpick, his stories. It's kind of a big show. Never misses an opportunity to press his case, even if it is some cheesy public access piece.
I was born and raised right here in Heinzman. I've been elected sheriff of Heinzman County for 7 consecutive terms. Before that, I was a deputy sheriff for 10 years. I've devoted my entire life to the good people of this area.
Oh my God. Let me check chat. Nope, we're good.
How would you profile Francisco Salazar?
If there's ever a checklist for a serial killer, Salazar would check every box. He was a loner.
God, that's terrible.
From a low-class background. He had anger issues.
Looks terrible.
His father abandoned him at an early age.
Oh, well.
You know, he was a drifter.
Yeah, I actually worked with him for a little while. We were part of a re-roofing crew at the pharmacy. He was one quiet dude. Me and my friend dropped a sandwich at lunch. Salazar takes a fucking picture of it.
Good
Found
lord.
dead corpses of little kids out in the desert. A lot of folks couldn't sleep at night. This the start of something bigger? Salazar, he's La Raza. So where are the rest of these thugs? Coming here to wipe us off the map? He did SDC?
SDC?
Yeah,
I'm gonna sit here and just fucking play video games.
painted houses and stuff.
But I do have my chat up on the corner.
Judge Jack Hudson has instituted a full media ban with no cameras permitted in the courtroom and no media personnel allowed within 200 yards of the courthouse.
This Lawrence Ross guy, you know, he came here with the wrong idea. Everybody saw where it was going, so of course there was nothing but closed doors. You know, sorry.
Look, we did not arrest Salazar because he was Mexican. We arrested Salazar because he was covered with 15 types of blood.
AM 970, Hinesman, Arizona. This is the Gus Greer Show, and I'm Gus Greer. And for the next 2 hours, you are going to get the most valuable thing that you've ever had in your life, an education from me. The Mexican, the Cholo, the Raza. It's a culture that celebrates violence. They glorify death because they have nothing else to look forward to.
Wait, do I have to make a statement about something? Like, this is from a movie? I didn't just say that. That's a character in a movie saying something that would be considered racist or whatever. I don't really give a shit. I think it's pretty based. Anyways, back to this. He's obviously supposed to be a stand-in for someone like Rush Limbaugh. But anyways. Fucking stream's probably lagging out. I bet if I use my front-facing camera, things would look... Well, I know they would look much better, but I don't know if it would actually get this... I've got like 2 front-facing cameras on this phone. I can switch between both. What happened to the movie? We were watching it. It's going good. 10 minutes in. What the fuck, Batman? I got to see Oddity as well, by the way, guys. Okay, let me restart it, or put it right at the 10-minute mark. That's fucking weird. That's just weird. Now you can make believe all your T's crossed. Ash vlogs, yeah, that was dope. Seen that many times. Okay, let me go ahead and try and bring Tubi up again. I was going to watch A History of the Occult, but that's a Spanish flick, it turns out. I did not know that. I was kind of sitting there like, oh. Continue watching. Yes, can we continue watching?
If there's ever a checklist for a serial killer, Salazar would check every box. He was a loner. He came from a low-class background. He had anger issues. His father abandoned him at an early age. You know, he was a drifter.
He was a drifter.
Yeah, I actually worked with him for a little
Yeah,
while.
I'm going to give it some time in the dark. Let's see if it adjusts.
Pharmacy. He was one quiet dude. Me and my friend
Full
dropped a
adjustment.
sandwich at lunch. Salazar takes a fucking picture of it. They found dead corpses of little kids out in the desert. A lot of folks couldn't sleep at night. This the start of something bigger? Salazar, he's La Raza. So where are the rest of these thugs? Coming here to wipe us off the map?
There is no fucking visual if I turn the lights off. Literal no fucking visual.
He did odd jobs around town. He painted houses with some of his eventual victims.
Judge Jack Hudson has instituted a full media ban with no cameras permitted in the courtroom and no media.
That an Hispanic man who was
From me, the Mexican, the Cholo, the Raza.
La Raza, the Cholo.
It's a culture that celebrates violence. They glorify death because they have nothing else to look forward to.
How did the visuals get so
I can't
fun?
say the political climate at the time had anything to do with the way he was treated.
Like if I lower the brightness, will that make it
I
look?
absolutely believe that an Hispanic man who is also an illegal immigrant can get a fair trial in the state of Arizona.
Let's not forget, Arizona embraced the KKK after Reconstruction. When we're talking about lynchings, Arizona had almost as many as anywhere else in the country. Different state, different era, same old monster. Controlling the power structure by day, hiding behind masks at night.
Make no mistake, we are at war.
You think the government's going to come in and save you? You think they're going to start putting troops on the border? Action has consequences, ladies and gentlemen, and inaction has more serious consequences. You have a choice to make. Are you going to sit there and roll over and let this tide roll over you and destroy you and your family? Or are you going to stand up? Are you going to fight for what's right and for what's yours?
When you're talking about the history of this country, I mean, it's an indisputable fact. There are very few minorities that have gotten a fair trial in an all-white jury.
They didn't need a trial. The public had already tried and convicted him before.
What's
it ever
funny
even
is
started.
the way this movie
What he
plays
did
out.
Crossing illegal and not proposed.
It's showing you everyone's biases, the way this movie does it. So you've got the characters who are saying he did it, and you've got the people who are saying, well, it's racism. And then you're going to find out the truth.
I don't know.
The truth being that their biases prevent them from seeing the truth.
You sure can pick lettuce.
These doing the illegal nations come over here and do all their drugs. That's not us. There's all their killings and stuff.
You know, if you go out there like they did in the old days in the John Wayne movies and hang one where everybody can watch it, one day they're going to stop doing it.
Over here like, oh. I don't like all the extra platforming they added to Rogue. See, what the fuck, did I just explode?
Yo sé que él no mató a esa gente. Mi hermano no es un monstruo.
Equipment weight? That's actually a thing in this game? Oh my gosh.
Francisco es una persona normal como tú y yo. Mi hermano nunca podría hacer algo así.
The attorney they gave him was on his third case. Before that, he handled some counterfeiter, some petty thief. Salazar was his third case.
I did my due diligence. I'm sworn to defend my client to the best of my ability.
Oh.
I think that I did that.
That was the wrong thing to get. A primer on
I
relatives.
sat in court. I expected to see a monster. I seen him, he was just slumped over, quiet with a blank stare.
There was no one else left alive to question. He was the only survivor, but Salazar never said a single word during the trial.
So they did add Dark Souls mechanics.
Teeth marks? That's something I'm not going to get into.
Okay, how's it going, Bob?
Fuck.
Day 3 of the trial, and I'm already sick to my stomach. I never want to hear another word about the freak eating the people he murdered.
I basically believe that he killed these people. I believe he should get the death penalty for doing what he did.
He's an outcast. He should be put to death on the spot.
Lethal injection.
Fry his ass.
And that was the level of analysis in the courtroom. A one-man serial killer army.
You did it! You got your dream job! I'm just second guessing everything.
Those boots aren't going to grab themselves.
I'm a feminist.
I can screw whoever I want. You don't just work for Scarlet. You are Scarlet.
This just got so real. Too real.
This is a
I wonder why it's free to watch on Tubi. It's almost like nobody gives a shit about that show.
$7.99. Oh, a thin crust commercial. Bingo! Those toppings go right to the edge. Take me to the edge. Listen to that crunch and check out that cheesy, crispy crust. All for $7.99? Exactamundo. $7.99 for the pizza that everyone wants to get their hands or claws on.
Sorry, claws?
Walk in and walk out with a large, hot and ready thin crust for $7.99 at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza. They can only do forensics on 7 partial corpses that were intact enough to be tagged and ID'd. When pressed about identifying the other remains, the coroner said on the stand, "How do you run DNA tests for 20 square blocks of bloody sand?"
Son of a bitch. That was a different currency. What did he just drop? Yeah, so these layouts of the town are pretty dope.
Notice that the teeth marks on the victims didn't match Francisco's teeth. And yet, Francisco has bite marks. They match the victims. How can you watch that?
What? I'm fully at 1 hit point, and that's my max.
During the first trial, I felt like I needed to seek someone out who understood the local culture of the border. Carlos Olivares, second-generation Border Patrol agent, following in the footsteps of his father.
When you grow up in this area, you realize that there's certain things you need to do. There's just a protection that needs to happen. Spend 30 years patrolling this border. You're gonna see some horrible things. You find bodies of dead women, children, dehydrated bodies, sometimes just 10 feet from a hidden stash of water bottles. Lately, these last few years on patrol, started seeing some things that were getting harder to explain.
Whoa, what's this?
Bodies that weren't just
blueprint
rotted
found.
by the sun.
Nice blueprint.
They'd been chewed, not by mountain lions or buzzards, but nobody in my line of work talked about it.
Why
Dead
not?
women, children.
So that's already an allusion to what's occurring within the story. But more importantly, well, let me hear what I was
Dehydrated bodies, sometimes just 10 feet from a hidden stash of water bottles.
So people
Lately,
crossing the
these
border.
last few years on patrol, started seeing some things that were getting harder to explain.
So this would fall in
Bodies
line
that
with what
weren't
happens
just
with the town.
rotted by the sun. They'd been chewed, not by mountain lions or buzzards, but nobody in my line of work talked about it.
Yo, guys, I just had to lower the fucking brightness of my screen, and you guys can see it. Unbelievable. This whole fucking time. I mean, I should have known that, but I just didn't think it would work so
Whatever
good.
happened in Sangre de Cristo couldn't have been the work of just one man. I didn't need a lot of me to know that.
When I go full screen, too. Francisco Salazar never spoke a single word in his defense. On December 12th, 2011, Salazar was found guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to death by lethal injection.
Based on the overwhelming amount of evidence given, we convicted Mr. Salazar, as I remember, in about a half hour, which was longer than it probably should have taken.
I think that means I can turn my light off and just...
Salazar was an easy target. He was a person easy to dehumanize. To the people in Heinzman, he was just some guy who went job to job. He would work on construction jobs. He would do anything. He was minimized as being just some sort of drifter, some cash and carry guy who you found on the end of a block and you put in the back of a pickup, do your work. And you forgot about it 5 minutes after you dropped it back off.
During the first trial, I knew that Salazar had been interviewed on camera only once on the evening he had been taken into custody. I spent 13 months filling out Freedom of Information Act requests at both state and federal level. Nothing. The Arizona Open Meetings Act, I got nothing until I got this video. Francisco,
interviews.
You said that they were people that you knew, but something wasn't right about them.
They were the same people, but they were dead.
Why didn't we hear about this tape before? The tape was never entered into evidence in the first trial, and it was barred in the second. You didn't give serious thought to using the video in his defense?
Have you seen the video? It's not an insanity defense. It's a suicide note.
It sounds like the ramblings of a crazy man, sure. But given the evidence, his story actually made no more or less sense than the official version.
The administrative staff were very concerned about him, me interviewing him, not being shackled to the chair, which is a typical thing. I wanted to get rid of as many barriers as I could, because I could tell that he was pretty closed off emotionally, and he was kind of a shell in his own head, and very, very, very scared. I said, listen, just let him come in and sit with me, because he was quiet. And you know, you guys are outside the door. You've got cameras in here, and you have guns outside there, and whatever it is that you need to do to bust in. And you know, what's he gonna? You know, what else could he do? What's your name? It took quite a while for him to even start to answer any questions, his name or where he grew up, or basic, just assessment stuff that we do.
Esta niña linda que nació de día.
Enemies are blacked out? Does that mean I can't
I
spot
was
it?
wondering if maybe he was regressing back into some childhood memory or healing or something.
Quiere que la lleve a dulcería.
The level of trauma that Francisco has seemed to experience in his life could easily be compared to somebody who's come back from being in a combat situation.
It doesn't matter what you do to me. We're still out there.
Who's out there?
At least they can't get me in here.
This is a guy who is facing death and the horrors of jail. Yet somehow he feels safer on the inside than he does out here.
In my professional opinion, even though his story sounds like it might be a little bit, crazy and out there, I did not find anything about him that was psychotic. His behavior, anything he said to me, he was, in layman's term, completely sane.
But it didn't make any sense, which is why I tried for the insanity defense.
He looked me directly in the eye. He was very specific about what he was saying, and he never changed his story.
Salazar wasn't crazy, or at least not crazy all by himself. Crazy was what he saw that night. Crazy was seeing everyone he knew massacred.
Some of them are bloody, with blood everywhere.
It's the ravings of a madman, right? But do you know what was really crazy?
I had to get help.
All right, we're gonna get
camera
footage.
The arrest report listed the items on Salazar's person when he was dropped off by the truck driver. One SLR 35mm camera fitted with a 70 to 200mm lens and a flash unit.
Everyone around here knew he was a photographer. He took pictures of everybody.
La cámara siempre nos recuerda a nuestra mamá.
It was almost involuntary. He just saw something and he took a picture of it. And he kind of, painted a history of his life with it.
Salazar was a lifelong Catholic. He believed in the power of the resurrection.
Yo creo que Dios trabaja en diferentes maneras de misterios.
He spent 7 years in SDC. taking pictures of dead things in a dead town.
Being an illegal, strike one. A loner with a camera, strike two. Grace Putnam was pretty much strike three, especially considering everything that happened.
Grace Putnam lived in SDC. Francisco was a friend of the family.
Salazar's house.
You can't do a lot of damage.
Was jammed with these weird and suggestive photographs of children and roadkill.
Well, I've looked at all of the earlier photos. I spent some time with him. He has a photographer's eye for sure. The best photographer I've ever seen? No. But he definitely had a professional eye. The shots of the little girl, several of those are delicate and beautiful. Shots of the roadkill are perfect counterpoint. You can read what you want to anything. That's part of what makes us human, I suppose.
The shrinks have a fancy word for it. It's voyeur. My take, pervert.
So Francisco was a photographer, big fucking deal. But there was something on that tape I couldn't put my finger on.
I had to get help. I took my camera out.
During the first trial, I tried to contact Shots Carrillo, the truck driver who picked up Salazar. He didn't want to talk. I left message after message. We never got together in person.
Oh, nice.
But after the appeal was lost, that's when I got this phone message.
Mr. Ross, I'm sending you something. I found it in my cab under the seat. Must have been there for months. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to know. But you have it. You keep me out of this, though. That's all I ask.
I called him, got no reply. A couple of days later,
Called him, got no reply. Like I just told who gave him tape.
a week later, the roll arrived.
Oh, I could have went higher if I had. Oh, okay, I see. They added a lot of platforms.
What Francisco said on the tape, what everyone else discounted as insane ravings, turns out he documented it all. Something primal, horrible moved through Sangre de Cristo that night, and the one survivor made a record of it.
Francisco had a camera with him that night. He took it with him and recorded what he saw. In one roll of film, 36 exposures.
Still in the process of appealing his conviction, but I can't enter these photos as evidence. I'd be disbarred.
Las fotos son horribles, pero tal vez pueden salvar la vida de mi hermano.
Give me a fucking break with this attack.
All this stuff about the photographs is BS. Photos prove nothing. Nothing. I know many kids right here in Heinzman who could Photoshop you into the famous grassy knoll in Dallas with a smoking gun in your hand, and you believe it was you.
Okay, there's more in this room. Damn it.
I've been a professional photojournalist for, Jesus, over 40 years now. Shot in Nam, shot in Cambodia.
I got it.
Pretty much all around the world. These are as authentic as they get. Usually when somebody is playing with film, you can tell. There's rough edges, there are little things that a professional can tell when looking at photography. You look at these pictures, there's none of that. These pictures are real.
The judge didn't want them. Pirano didn't want them.
It doesn't matter. The photos are not evidence.
I would tell the local authorities that they are wrong. That these are as authentic as it gets. I'm frankly surprised their own people haven't looked at the photos and been able to confirm the truth of the pictures.
I'll tell you what those photos are. A sick prank played by sick freaks.
Okay, the poison doesn't hurt me. Good.
Everybody heard about the photographs. Nobody believed they were real. They were trying to make us feel sympathy for a man that didn't deserve it.
The killing started, at least as far as Salazar's story was concerned, before he snapped a single frame.
The only two explanations. Either the guy went out there and staged everything, or he's absolutely telling the truth.
Some of them were dead. And some of them.
He was babbling, and I thought I was going to lose him, which I eventually did. So I asked him to start at the beginning.
Random ad.
That's crazy. Oh, you guys seen this?
Oh no, I guess I should probably mention.
13 million Americans were affected by identity theft in 2020.
Biggest L of the Hunger Games was Fuzi's inclusion. Just a worthless Muslim.
It was terrifying. I never dreamed it would
That
happen.
guy's annoying as fuck.
Only LifeLock alerts you to the widest volume of threats, all in one place. And if you're a victim, LifeLock works to fix it on your behalf, all backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. Enroll now.
Oh, brutal. So you could probably just run through this.
Francisco, what were you doing when Danny showed up at your house?
I got owned. Own zone.
I was putting film in the camera.
According to Salazar, he's loading up his camera, getting ready to shoot some dead coyotes or possums. But Danny shows up on his doorstep, bleeding out like a stud pig.
And then you said that he came in and he was bleeding, and you tried to help him, and you laid him down on the couch. Is that correct?
I saw him die.
How are you sure that he was dead?
He was dead. I know he was dead.
Oops, wrong button.
The police forensic reports back up that the victim did die at Salazar's house. Danny's body was one of the few that could be identified, but barely.
Inner top side.
Danny Montez was my cousin. I thought he and Salazar were cool.
Montes used to work in the fields near Salazar's house.
See the
This
title
story is
drop.
confusing to me.
No harm in looking. Enable house rules once. Oh, so there's an achievement for enabling house rules. Good to know.
1 minute he's alive and on your couch, and then he's
You not escape in time.
dead, and then he's standing up and
Soft
he's
overload. Discover the hidden memory.
coming at you and you're afraid.
Have a
He
blessing.
was dead. And then he came after me. And I had to stop him.
So this one, the story is really going to get freaky because
So
his
when he was telling
imagery
me the
is being
story is
shown.
very clear and concise, and it seemed to like let a weight off his shoulders, and he exhaled and he got very calm after he talked to me about this. So he's very clear in the details about what happened.
Alright, what have
I
everybody
mean, doesn't that seem strange to you?
befriend
It's
everyone.
not something I've ever heard before.
That's what happened.
Complete the game
It was
with
his same body
Xanatopia.
and same face, but it wasn't Danny.
Did he say anything? No. No words.
The boy's body was found in the middle of Salazar's living room.
You stopped him. How did you stop him from attacking you?
I held him and I hurt him. And he stopped.
So what he's describing is this guy that he knows came into his house and was already wounded and then died in his house, and then he got back up and started to attack Salazar. So Salazar attacked him and killed him again. So we're getting a theme of zombies. To call this a zombie film is extraordinarily reductive, and that's why I don't call this a zombie film. when you get to the exposures, which I think it's at the 36-minute mark, when you start to see the 36 film exposures that he took, they're beyond zombies. A horde of ghouls, a horde of demonic ghouls, seemingly ran through this town, and he kind of has to ends up taking the blame because he's the only survivor. And we've already been told now that the border patrol guy has had stuff that's a bit more unexplainable occurring to him, like bodies of animals and stuff like chewed up, not normally. So we're getting this theme, as well as potential government cover-up.
How did you hurt him?
Oh, also, the audio in this for this the creepy stuff is really effective. It's just kind of a pulsating, echoing sound, and it's really intense. I remember the first time I heard it. It's kind of also like a whirring sound. It's really intense. Really really good. Just really puts you on edge. Hear that hollow.
That's tough evidence to overcome.
There's no question that Francisco.
It sounds like a pole being tapped, and it goes. It's kind of a very, very good sound design on this movie.
Packed up Donnie Montez to pieces. The question is, did he kill him?
So after all that happened, then what did you do?
I had to get help.
If Salazar killed Montez, why would he run into town to get help? Because going south wasn't an option.
Yeah, so this is the
Here's
first
photograph
picture.
01 on the roll.
Look at those things on the ridge.
This is the start of what Salazar saw, what sent him back to a town. This is what made him run. Salazar's roll of film was a map. From the edge of town, 3 miles across, what was left of Sangre de Cristo.
Yeah, so this is his house, and we're going to kind of a clear example of where he went through. All the little red marks are going to be where he took his pictures.
In one way, it doesn't matter what you think the photos mean. You can deny them. You can look to them for clues about what happened to your loved one. You can call them a sick media junkie. You can even hope for salvation. But it's something, and it's coming closer.
Salazar lived about a mile outside of town, on the fringes. His cabin was at the foot of the hills. He ran away through the fields toward the town. Based on the light in that first picture, about 15 minutes to sundown, the migrant workers were still working.
SDC is the brown town that actually services Heights. That's where you get all the invisible people, all your gardeners, all the service people, all your maids, people who pick your food, who take care of the kids.
When we were kids, we couldn't even pronounce the damn way. Like Sangre de Caso, Sangre de Cristo. We just called it Savage Land.
The cops found what they said were the remains of 11 victims out in the field.
You check chat.
That's just savage one. Man, living down to its reputation.
The first theory was cartel. SEC is in an area of major cross-border drug supply lines. Maybe drugs were passing through and some gang wanted to stake out a new territory.
There were a lot of dealings with drugs. Drugs were coming in, and like the cartel was coming in and then influencing the young kids.
Cartel killings are designed to make a point. They stack the heads up all neat, like it's an altar, or they hang bodies from bridges. It keeps people in line.
This wasn't designed to make a point.
This was random carnage. Salazar's running for cover, exposed, out in the open.
So he starts to make
Going
his
out
way,
in
and
the
this is going
field,
to be
he
his
headed
first
into town.
encounter.
We came across Ron Templeton.
Good old Ron.
Templeton was a hunter from Heinzman. Spent his off hours out here, searching through the area. I used to see him all the time, out here on patrol.
I walk in the house and expect him to be here. It's it's really hard to get used to the idea that he's not in here anymore.
Did you know Ron Templeton? The police say that you were in his truck.
It goes sideways. Just looked at it and I'm like, it's nice.
He had a gun.
Kind of sideways.
Some of the victims were from Heinzman. Some of them were beloved members of the community. They were not just SDC residents. I mean, Ron Templeton was a member of the Founders Club. People loved him.
He was such a big part of just the community too. So every place I go and everything I do, I expect to see him.
Ron Templeton was a good man. When he came across Salazar, I guess that he tried to find some good in him as well. That was his big mistake.
Try to get him to come with me. To help these people, to help my friends.
So the man in the truck, did he shoot at the people in the field? What happened?
Nothing happened. Didn't work.
So photograph 2, he's taking pictures of this Ron guy actually shooting at the things coming at him.
The one thing that continues to bother me is Francisco Salazar taking Ron down. He's such a little man.
According to the state's case, a 5'9", 170-pound Francisco ran bloody and screaming toward Ron Templeton, who's 6'1", 210 pounds and armed.
Anyone who knew Ron knew what an expert hunter he was. He was an expert shot too. He never missed. I mean, one shot is all it took to ever kill an animal. And for him to miss that many times, that close up, impossible to even imagine.
This is where they found Templeton's truck. The blood trail that went off into the wash and disappeared.
We never found Ron Templeton's body. His wife, widow Eileen, never get the closure that she deserved.
Sorry.
You better be sorry for crying, lady. Holding up the stream.
57 people died here, and the local newspaper ran one obituary. The one white guy from Heinzman.
Many times I lie awake at night wishing Ron had taken out Salazar right then and there.
People tell me not to ask questions and to keep quiet. And then I think, are they lying to me? Are they trying to make me feel this is the way it happened, just to make me be quiet and not question?
Camera shake is off.
We've lived in this town forever. Would they be lying to me?
Salazar runs until he reaches the edge of town.
So here's the next spot on that.
You've got Danny Montez dead. 11 more in the field. Still leaves 45.
Son of a bitch. right. I was in this area.
At this time, it's about 8 p.m. The more he runs, the clearer it becomes. He's not outrunning anything.
Francisco, when you got into town, what did you see? What did it look like?
It was like hell.
I need that. I need
People were running. People were hurting each other.
At this point, it's 8:15 p.m. Francisco is making his way through town, trying to stay alive. By his own account, he has no weapon at this point. Just his camera.
The amazing thing about being a photographer is so long as you are behind that lens, so long as you are shooting through that lens, you are indestructible. Every photographer I know feels the same way. While you're shooting, you can't be hurt. I have a stultifying fear of heights. I just looking at an upstairs.
Sorry, I gotta keep checking chat. I don't want to be one of those losers who has actually somebody asking me a question in chat and I don't fucking check. Okay, good. No chat. Back to the movie.
Scares the hell out of me. In Nam, I used to spend half of my time hanging out of an open helicopter door, hanging onto a strap I wouldn't use as a belt, and shooting away because nothing could hurt me. As long as I had that camera in front of my face, nothing could hurt me.
Can it stop auto clipping? There we go. Oh, okay. I hate the snap feature. You know they added that a few versions of Windows ago, like Windows Vista 7. I don't know. That was a few versions to me. I skipped like Windows 8.1. And there, I don't know. I thought Windows 7 was good.
We basically have an illegal who's running amok all over Savage Land, killing at random.
At this point, the prosecution case starts to get a little shaky.
Salazar would have said something to my grandpa, and stuff would have went down. My grandpa's not going to go down without a fight.
The autopsy certificates would have you believe that Salazar was running through town, dispatching victims with a machete, pickaxe. He was some kind of trained killer.
Salazar knew every square inch of that town. That's why he was able to move so quickly and kill without anybody realizing what was happening.
SDC is not a big place. Salazar was in good shape. If he were quick enough, he could have covered all that ground. And he did not want to leave any witnesses.
Brutality. God, I love this game.
What's most amazing about these photographs is the fact that he got as many decent photographs as he did out of one roll. I mean, I can't imagine why he would go with one roll. I have a feeling he probably had more that he lost along the way, because I've done it myself.
Where's the next objective?
One roll of film and 36 exposures and caught as many perfect shots as he did. It is either brilliant film work or one of the greatest accidents in the history of photography.
We know that Salazar gets here, to the one store in town. It's a little way out of the rest of his route based on the photographs. But we do know this market had a working landline. But if that's what he was going for, he was shit out of luck.
Shit out of luck.
If you were in New York City and not Sangre de Cristo, you would probably have 15,000 shots of what happened there that evening on people's cell phones.
Most people in STC didn't have cell phones. They had phone cards. Once a month, they'd come to the market, buy one, call home to Mexico, say hi to mom, confirm the wire transfer back home. You can't take a picture with a phone card.
We're talking about a place where life was cheap. Illegals, arriving illegally, doing illegal things.
People ask me, well, why didn't the people in SDC call the police? Immigrants don't call police. And when you live in SDC, the police are just another element, another criminal element to them.
Only if you're illegal. So this all stacks to here. There's so much in this.
Salazar was also charged with murders that happened at the water tower. But there's not a single piece of evidence to indicate that Salazar was ever there.
And remember those people we found, right next to the small water tower? We know that they ran. We know that they ran up to the top of that water tower. And instead of confronting whatever was chasing them, they chose to jump off the water tower. Now that just doesn't happen when you have an individual. I don't care how horrible the individual is, that doesn't happen.
8 people supposedly ran up there trying to get away from one man.
Ring of
But
lesser
instead
time.
of trying to fight him off on a single fire escape, these 8 people chose to jump. They'd rather kill themselves and their families instead of fight him.
They told me that Jose and his family were some of the ones who died at that tower. And it was only 2 blocks from their house.
So
I mean, I look at his picture and
Maria had such a strong sense of faith, a really strong sense of faith. I don't have that faith. I just don't have that faith, and it hurts me,
+4
because
agility.
I'm more angry about that.
I can't imagine why the 2 of them would do something like that. They had to climb that. If you think about them standing there at that moment and then making that decision.
And this leads down into here, which is...
Salazar was never closer than 3 blocks to that tower that night. The truth is, he had a different route in mind. From the start, he was always heading here. That's what he says. To the church mission, to the Putnam family.
As for the Putnams, Francis would have been working for them for years. He was almost a friend. They trusted him. They gave him a key, to the building. And yet, when I look at the crime scene, doors had been ripped off their hinges. Now, why would Francisco rip the doors off the hinges when he had a key?
What was going through your mind when you saw all of this?
Ooh, I don't know why I did that jump.
I know. I just want to help my friends.
You worked for Dwayne and Judith Putnam, didn't you?
Let's go down to the next area. I keep progressing areas in this game without actually... oh shit, there's one of the big guys.
How did you feel about them?
They were good people.
Actually, let's see how much damage I can do to this giant. I forgot about these giant dudes.
Putnams were here to convert the old church and mission offices. Basically, start a new ministry in a town other religious groups had long since abandoned.
We're proud of our church's missionary history.
God's mission for us is to go forth to the less fortunate, to bear witness to his word. The Putnams are some of my closest, dearest friends in the world. Truly people of God. Wayne and Judith's engagement was sanctioned by our church with great excitement. Even though she wasn't baptized in our church at the time, we knew in her heart she always believed.
Klein.
She had great strength.
Oh, my friends.
Salazar had spent the summer working as a handyman on the mission, doing odd jobs, running errands for Judith, hanging out with the two kids.
Wow.
The Putnams went to that town to fix up that facility, to empower those people. This family reached out to Salazar, and this is how he repaid them.
I don't know how I feel about this Mobius blade.
Grace is gone. Where is Grace?
But Salazar was too late.
Grace is gone. Where is Grace? Grace is gone. Don't judge me. Don't you judge me. Only God can judge me. Only He knows what I'm seeing. Only He knows abomination. I am Abraham. I'm burned. I'm burned offering on one of the mountainside. I have done everything. I have no choice. I will deliver my family to God's hands. My lambs, my little lamb, my baby boy.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and die. I need to use my whatchamacallit. Oh, can I drop down to here? Let's try. Fuck. Okay, that was terrible.
If by His will that I will save them. I do not.
This guy's just losing it.
I am clean. We are clean. You get that business morning. What'd you wish for, Grace?
I get little. Alright, birthday girl first.
This area. It says next, proceed to next area. Can't really remember what it is.
Only got there. I knew that I was too late.
Where are their bodies?
Oh shit. Transition to the next level, yes, initiate. Let's go ahead and get to the next
In the
level.
official version, forensics, coupled with the Putnam phone recording, led the police to conclude that Putnam killed his wife and son before killing himself. That Putnam panicked at seeing Salazar running wild and snapped when he heard the screams outside the mission. So he killed his family with a machete before turning it on himself. That's Perano's version.
Alright, here we are.
Were they still alive when you got there?
Only one of them.
But the official logic doesn't hold up. Putnam wanted to give his family a mercy killing so they could all go up clean to Jesus. That's one thing. But why dismember his little kid?
Yeah, we had dogs searching for
25
other
stamina
things.
points? Oh, hell yeah.
Found nothing. Of course, Salazar won't be telling us where he buried the bodies.
Except change.
Wayne Putnam thought he was a man of God. But he made the wrong choice.
So even more stamina. Look
For a
at
pastor, a man of the Bible, it must be hard to see these photos. They show what you might call a inconvenient resurrection. The only thing he can do is deny it.
God saw what Dwayne did. He was a murderer. It is suicide.
This is perfect. We got a good area. I don't know where the bosses are. I'm trying to find bosses in this game. I found 2 of them. Oh, shoot.
Where was Grace Putnam?
I might have enough to make it through the deluge now, guys.
She wasn't there.
Where was she?
If Grace wasn't at the mission,
She was at school.
the school is on the outskirts of town. And Salazar still has a distance to go. Through the most densely populated area of town, where most of the bodies were found.
Most of the killings occurred on the street. We're just inside the entrances to homes. People rushed out to see what was happening, to protect their families.
I've never used the mystery concoction
Why
either.
didn't Salazar put down his camera and help those people?
Salazar was a handyman. He had keys for vacant buildings all over town. He could cut through building to building from one end of town to the other. Hide, look out.
Look, most of the time, he probably wasn't even close to the action. I mean, a 70 to 200 millimeter lens pulls in all sorts of distant detail. You know, sometimes you get nothing. Sometimes you get something extraordinary.
Diver's lungs concoction. I have 116. For 300
Why did
seconds?
Francisco take the photos? The better question is why not? You are capturing moments of time that you are the only person. It's a moral imperative almost. You're the person with the camera. You're the only person there with that option. You take the pictures because you must.
All right.
Somebody has to take those pictures.
We got to make a serious bid through this.
Salazar makes his way down Main Street and gets to the preschool.
I'm not going to bother fighting these guys. It's kind of a waste of my time. I might have enough.
Dog?
Join the million-plus fans who have made game days more entertaining.
So all of this is a swimmable area, unlike most Souls games,
favorite players' stats like points, assists,
and that makes things much more difficult.
Visit UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code POSTER to claim your player's special and deposit offer. Underdog Fantasy, calling all dogs.
Damn, I'm out of stamina pretty quickly.
All the children of the people who died in that field, they were in that preschool.
All right, so let's go. We're gonna go ahead and use Diver's lungs and get in there. Boom. So there's big swimming monsters in here. This area took me a minute to get the hang of because
That's the
it's
thing
scared.
that messed with me.
Fuck! I got killed already.
What happened at that preschool?
Well, we're not the same as they are. We don't kill babies.
You got me. You can actually knock that thing out with the Mobius blade, but I didn't have to do it in time. Son of a bitch.
There's almost nothing that you could say to change people's minds. Even planting the possibility, the idea that you hurt or killed children.
To the school.
Okay, I need to go further up because that was a foolish move. I forgot these enemies are pretty dangerous. This guy's a pain, right? Right, so the swimming monsters there, I jumped too far, but they're actually relatively safe. You just gotta pay attention like I didn't do earlier. The red dots, these are the areas
There
where
were
you
9 kids in the preschool
There you go.
and
These
1 teacher.
red beacons give you oxygen.
Red.
And we're going to go ahead and move from red to red.
Forensics indicated.
And we got a long ways to go. We got to go all the way out there.
Hidden behind a curtain. It's a child's natural instinct to think if they make themselves invisible, they can save themselves from the monster.
Where did I go last time?
When I came back, I just, like I said, I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. And to go to the funeral, it's one of the hardest things. You know, it was a closed casket. All the family was there.
Where's the next?
A lot of people wish that they would have been able to see it before she. You know, I kind of like keep my own last memory of. I wouldn't want to see her in there. I want to remember her the way I remember her. You know?
Oh, I thought that was an
Ruby
island.
Perez is my daughter. She was 5 years old. She lived with her father in SDC. I worked in Heinzman. I hardly got to see
Wait,
her.
can I climb
because
my
I
mantle
worked
up here?
Long hours.
Oh, fuck.
She was wearing a purple top and pants
I think I
and
went
white
to the bottom.
tennis shoes. She was very picky about what she wanted to wear.
When I left, she was 3. And I wasn't even nice to her. I could have been nicer to her. But she was always bugging me, and I feel like an asshole.
Benny. You want to see him? Right here. I mean, look at that.
Okay,
Look
we're
at that
going for
smile.
this at this point. Oh my god. And I think there's loot over there.
You know, he was born premature and.
What is this? I've
he
never
was
seen
tiny,
this.
Tiny. He weighed 2.5 pounds. And, you know, he had some problems. He got pneumonia as a newborn. But he had a tough, strong heart.
It's not working.
I could have gone more, but
That's BS.
you know, it was a piece of shit town, and I left when I could, and I was just hoping maybe when she got older we could make up the last time.
Come on. Surface.
That's all I was thinking, but now I don't have time.
Holy shit.
I took this from her school. This was the last thing she was wearing.
That means the next one's over here? That's when I went down to the red.
Grace is gone. Where is Grace? Grace is gone.
I really got to go over there.
By his own account,
Okay,
Salazar couldn't even get inside the school. He skirted around the back by the storeroom.
The one aspect of that roll of film that sort of
Okay, I have to
fascinates
go over here.
is why he spent so much of the last of it taking pictures of that one subject, that little girl.
Keep
I
paying
wouldn't
attention to where the monsters are. Those things are horrifying.
It's not what I would have done, certainly, and I don't think most other professional photographers would have done it either.
Okay, here we are.
He was on the other side of the window.
Okay, we're going down here.
Reaching out.
We have to. We don't have time to waste. Go. These guys are just lock on you and
the other photographs.
We gotta
This
go
was
here.
the first time that Salazar even used his flashlight.
This is a huge
Question
journey.
is, why now?
Okay, keep going. This is getting nerve wracking. There's a light inside this house or building, but I think we can skip it.
With the flash.
With the camera?
stopped them for a little while?
Only when it flashed.
Those last photographs is the one where he's reaching through the bars.
Fuck no, you fucking.
He's trying to take the girl's hand, and suddenly stops being a historian, stops being an observer, and becomes an active participant.
You just took me so far up. Oh my god. I'm never going to be able to escape.
And decided to do a single human action to
No!
save somebody else.
Damn, he nailed me.
Is the moment that changed everything for him.
I gotta take it slower, I guess.
You give up being a photographer to become a human being, and you lose what has kept you alive and safe through the rest of the process.
Silver hand. They say. Esta niña linda que nació de Dios.
Yeah, so he got to this little girl, and she was kind of trapped inside the house because the bars were on the window. He wasn't able to help her, so he stayed with her. But he knew her already. He knew that family, so he took pictures to document. That's how I felt just a second ago when I got killed by those guys. I was like, man. I think it's time to use
this all along.
Diver concoction. I like that guy.
There's only three possibilities. Either he's lying, he's crazy, or he's telling the truth. And in my professional opinion, he's not lying, and he's not crazy.
And he's not telling the truth. She's like, I covered all the bases. Did I just make that guy jump in the water? Okay, no. I'm gonna say, there's a secret crevice over there.
Salazar had his shot in court.
We're appealing. That's all we could do at this point. It's in the hands of the criminal justice system of the state of Arizona.
Let's see what's down here. Might as well explore. I have over 100
I'm
of
going to be
those.
glad when this appeal goes nowhere, so this town can start going somewhere again.
I found a few good pieces of loot down here. Yeah,
You know, if you've been a reporter like me in an inner city, you've seen murders. You've seen murders of every type. I can tell you in a second, gangland shot, personal shot in terms of, two different people who know each other. I can tell you how the person died. Murders.
My dog outside.
Signatures.
I'm gonna go check on my
So
dog.
who has the
Starting to bark.
resources, the weapons, the political will, the anger, the motive to carry out the single night massacre of an entire town? It's a familiar story we've seen played out time and time again.
And see, that's part of the brilliance of this film. That guy is literally blaming it on some sort of racist group and thinks, I guess, that the government or a group of racists killed a whole town of people to then blame it on one Spanish guy to make Spanish people look bad or Mexican people. That's part of the brilliance of this story, in my opinion. The people's biases prevent them from seeing what is right in front of their faces. These exposures are the truth. Ghouls went through the town and murdered people. That Lawrence guy doesn't even believe it. He's looking at the pictures and he doesn't believe it. He thinks it's some operation. That's one of the reasons I love that they included both sides in this movie. Otherwise, I'd be like, this is just obnoxious leftist propaganda. But he's making a fool of himself. He can't get past himself. When you've got the exposures right in front of you,
I can tell you,
very
in
funny.
a second, gangland shot, personal.
I gotta go
shot
check my
in
dog.
terms of, two different people who know each other. I can tell you how the person died. Murders have signatures.
So who had the resources, the weapons, the political will, the anger, the motive to carry out the single night massacre of an entire town? It's a familiar story we've seen played out time and time again.
It's not smoke and mirrors. It's desert, sand, hate, fear.
Nat Turner, Scottsboro Boys, the Tulsa Race Riots, Zoot Suit Riots, Camp Grant Massacre, Operation Wetback, Rodney King. Sangre de Cristo.
This is the community that we are. We do take an eye for an eye. Because not only is that fair, that's our God-given right. And we will be watching the border for all future Salazars.
They don't care who you are. They don't care what you do. They'd basically rather shoot you than give you $1.
The Great Wall of America between us and Mexico. I don't hear them trying to build that wall between here and Canada, and they're not saying some Canuck is coming down and killing people up in Michigan.
There's a lot more Salazars out there. More Riveras.
What's funny is this movie came out before Trump.
But make no mistake.
2015.
It's a matter of when, not if.
Basically, there's 100,000 that try to come across, and there's only maybe 1,000 border patrol. They ain't gonna get everybody.
You ain't gonna get us all. Sheriff Piranha was reelected for his 7th term or something like that. Let's go ahead and check. Just double check the columns.
Yeah, maybe we just got our priorities right here in Arizona. A lot of our people's been waiting a long time for this. I'm also proud that this state is carrying out Salazar's sentence in half the time it took to do the same to Timothy McVeigh.
Yo pienso que él hubiera estado mejor si se hubiera
I think
ido
he would have been better off if he had stayed in Mexico.
At 12:05 a.m. Arizona time. Not bleeding liberal time. Not East Coast wine and cheese time. Not West Coast free drugs time.
West Coast free drugs time.
No more lawyers' appeals. No more bills. No more 3 square meals a day. No more excuses.
Kill them all.
And no more fear, my friends.
Francisco was the only witness to what happened that night. And the court killed his photographs. And then the state killed him.
What do you mean, Karen? Because the Lawrence character doesn't believe the photographs, essentially.
Yo sé que mi hermano era bueno. No quisieron darme visa para asistir.
They wouldn't give me a visa to attend his execution. Oh well.
Nunca pude decirle adiós.
I never got to say goodbye. Oh well.
Do you know where Salazar gets buried? He gets buried right here, in the state of Arizona. He must be pretty pleased with himself. He snuck in here, he hid here, he killed here, he's executed here. But even in death, he manages to avoid being deported.
Except they got it all wrong. This doesn't end with the execution of Francisco Salazar. Francisco Salazar's photos don't end with Francisco Salazar.
I wish I was there. I wish I had been the guy behind the camera. Why did Francisco take the photos? I don't know. Maybe he thought he was going to die like everybody else. Why the hell not? Leave something behind, some record behind, so he didn't die for nothing.
Almost
There's
there.
A piece of history left. And if you're going to go out with something of value. Do something. Make your death count for something.
Can I make it? Can I make it? To the right. Oh, I made it to the oxygen. Yes! All right.
The photos show us the truth.
The truth is that I'm the one who found the photos. I'm the one who released them.
Ross found the truth, but he couldn't see it. He got scared. I don't blame him.
As a journalist, I deal in facts, not speculation. And the facts are that Francisco recorded whatever moved through that town that night. And that was the only real evidence. And the local will to investigate was non-existent. So the photos exist in the back.
I think a lot of people will sleep better at night believing that they are photoshopped than believing they are seeing something that's actually happening.
Can I put a mirage here? No, I didn't think so.
There's no going back to normal.
Where do we go down from here? Okay, we have to go down, back down to the building.
Normal doesn't exist anymore.
Where we go? All right, hopefully one of the big
There
guys.
were no masks, no cartels, no mob of illegals at night. The photos do tell us something. They're numbered. Number 1 was taken from the Southern Wash in the foothills. Number 36 at the schoolhouse. When you look at the crime scene, the police reports, the layout of the town, you realize that this carnage wasn't random. It was just so huge that nobody could see the bigger picture. They were always heading in one direction. They were heading north.
Holy shit. No, 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 no. Fuck you. Don't hit me. Oh my god, thank you.
Have you ever actually seen the border fence?
That is
20
horrifying.
feet high. Corrugated steel.
That is
Razor
horrifying.
wire in some place.
Please fuck off. Oh my
Anyone
god.
with any regard for human life, stay the hell away from that.
No, fuck! Oh my god, the game glitched or something, or maybe you can't get near this building.
I do.
Fuck you,
Ever
big
since,
guy!
I've seen these photographs. I've been sleeping with it under my pillow.
This is a cruel land where death is a certainty. We grow up with it, we accept it.
You know what made my morning? Hearing that some group of unknown patriots found where Salazar's grave was and dug it up. The body's gone, my friends, and good riddance.
Okay, we gotta fucking go. Go, go, go. I think I can make it. Stay near the buildings. These monsters that they put in the water are horrifying. It took me a lot of time to just get through this. I mean, get through the fact that I had to go do this to play the game. I don't play games where you go underwater in general. It's just too much for me. It's too scary. Okay, I need to get down there. I need to... Oh, shit. I'm out of my special item. Is now empty. Fuck. Okay. This isn't good.
7 weeks after Salazar's execution, the mutilated remains of 2 campers were found in the Tonto National Forest, 115 miles north of Sangre de Cristo. 5 unexplained deaths in Secret. Multiple attacks in Ajo, Cayente, Wilcox to the east. Hilldale was the first town in Utah. 12 dead. The same patterns emerging east to Juarez. Up into New Mexico and Alamogordo, 5 dead. In Trevino Ranch, 3 dead, 9 unaccounted.
Don't really remember this. Storage speed. Oh. that was Salazar. Phil Godry is always promoting this film on his YouTube. So essentially, what you just saw was, I think it's supposed to be a government cover-up because when Francisco Salazar died with lethal injection, which I was like, lethal injection, he just ran by as a zombie. So he became one of those things. So I believe whatever they injected him with is what is causing the whole whatever the hell is going on. Can this thing go away? So yeah, technically it's a zombie movie, but this is one of the few where people will actually agree with you and say, yeah, this is less of a zombie movie. The zombies look like ghouls, and if you could get a good visual on them when you actually watch this movie, you'll be surprised what they look like. All right, that's Savage Land. It's free on Tubi TV, by the way. If anyone's interested in it, good movie. I think now is the time to end the stream because it's whatever in the morning, and hour and 37 minutes. Very short stream in comparison to like the 4 and 5 hour ones, but we're at like what 2 a.m. Yeah. Oh, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the final battle. Well, this is 30 minutes. No, I'm not gonna watch that. I already saw it in real time. So like, what's his face won, and then it turned out Taman won, I guess, because the data was slow and there was lag on the server data, so the hits weren't registering, but he did in fact get them. I have no idea what's happening, or if people are like, it's rigged or not. I have no idea. But yeah, I'll see you folks next time. I'm going to go ahead and end it now, and have a great rest of your night.